All right, today we're diving into this incredible ancient story, the Forest Dweller's Code. And it asks a question that feels surprisingly modern. What's the real test of a spiritual practice?
So, think about it. What actually happens when someone who has spent years in solitude, perfecting their inner world, suddenly has to deal with other people again? That's the exact scenario we're going to unpack.
So our story kicks off with a monk named Goliyāni. After spending a long time in dedicated solitude, he finds himself having to return to the main monastery, which is, bustling with activity, to take care of some things.
Okay, so there are two main players here. First up, we've got Goliyāni, our Nico, which, by the way, literally means forest dweller. He's lived a life of solitude. And then we have Sariputta, one of the Buddha's most respected disciples, who is just known for his incredible wisdom.
So when Sariputta sees Goliyāni show up, he doesn't just, wave and say hello. No, he sees something bigger. He sees this perfect teaching moment, not just for Goliyāni, but for the entire community of monks, to really get at what true practice looks like.
And he frames his entire teaching around this one powerful question that he keeps coming back to. He's basically asking, what good is all that quiet meditation if you can't bring that skill with you back into the community? Let's see what he means.
So where does he start? Well, first up are the foundational rules, and they're all about how you actually interact with other people. It all starts with respect.
Sariputta lays out these three simple but totally crucial points. Be respectful and deferential to your fellow practitioners. Be skillful with seating, which just means be mindful of where you sit, don't crowd out senior monks or block newcomers. And finally, know the basic rules of the community. Really, it's all about social awareness.
Okay, and this is where the teaching makes this fascinating pivot. Sariputta shifts from, outward behavior to the inner qualities a practitioner has to cultivate. This is where things get really deep.
First, he tackles speech. The idea is to not be a chatterbox, right? To avoid filling the space with scattered, useless words. The Pali term for this quality is amukorena. It's really about mindful, purposeful communication.
Next, he talks about this practice called indresu guttadvarena, which is such a powerful metaphor, right? Guarding the doors of your senses. What that means is being mindful of what you see, what you hear, and what you experience, so you aren't constantly being pulled around by distractions. It's about keeping your internal balance.
And you know what? The discipline even extends to eating. The principle here is bhojane matanyuna, or knowing moderation in what you consume. Food is for sustaining the body so you can practice, not for indulgence. It's about training the mind away from greed.
And then finally, there's this quality of being calm and steady, which is described as anadatena akshapalena. It means not being restless, not agitated, not fickle. This points to a mind and body that are totally grounded, whether you're sitting alone in the forest or in a crowded hall.
So why all these rules, you might be wondering? Well, Sariputta makes it super clear. They aren't just arbitrary. They are the essential foundation for the real work of spiritual development.
See, this discipline is what fuels the whole path of development. Proper conduct that cultivates a persistent energy. That energy then supports an established mindfulness. From mindfulness, you get deep concentration, and a concentrated mind is the only kind that can develop profound wisdom. It's like a chain reaction, one thing leading to the next.
Okay, so just when you think Sariputta is wrapping up his lesson for our forest monk, another senior disciple, the great Mahamoggalana, he chimes in with a question that completely changes the game.
He asks, Venerable Sariputta, is this code of conduct, this whole path you've just laid out, is that just for the monk who lives in the forest? And what a brilliant question that is.
And Sariputta's answer, wow. It's the powerful climax of this entire teaching. He says, yes, of course this code applies to the forest dweller, but, and this is the key part, it applies even more to the Gamanta Viharina, the monk living right here in the village, smack in the middle of society.
I mean, the point here is so profound, isn't it? It's pretty easy to be calm and mindful when you're all alone in the woods. The real test, the true measure of your wisdom and your compassion, is how you handle yourself when you're surrounded by other people.
And that leaves us with a question that resonates just as strongly today as it did thousands of years ago. It's not just about what you do on your meditation cushion or in quiet moments of reflection. It's about how all of that inner work actually shows up in your interactions, your relationships, and your community. How do you bring the peace of the forest into the village?